We don't want to talk about this. Beneath the music from the further room. So, how should I presume? People, there's music right there in another place. But he feels, you've seen these people. We have seen them all. And I have known the eyes already. Not people, not heads, eyes already. We are afraid of them. That's why we don't look at each other. Modern man does not do that. I have known them all already, known them all. The eyes that fix you in a formulated phrase. Now Eliot starts feeling like an insect. There's a pin, like a butterfly. Look at that. You see, they fixed you with a formulated phrase. And when I am formulated, sprawling on a pin, and when I am pinned and wriggling on the wall, then how should I begin when I'm like that? When people are looking at me like that? It's not my fault. People are looking at me like that. This is modern man. This is you and I. We want to do something. We think about hundreds of different reasons just to justify why I did not do that. I wasn't successful. I did not do this. I did not start that business. It was not my fault. It was her fault. It was his fault. It was the eye's fault. And when I am formulated, sprawling on a pin, when I am pinned and wriggling on the wall, then how should I begin when I'm like that? And how should I presume? Now these are the but ends. Seriously, we'll talk about this. And how should I presume? Should I say, and I have known the arms already, body parts. And I have known the arms already, known them all. Arms that are braceleted. You see, it's beautiful. And white and bare. Finally, something good. But in the lamplight, down with a light brown hair. Oh my God, again. You see? This is us. We cannot bear to see the good things, even for a second. Is the perfume from a dress that makes me so digress? Arms that lie along a table or wrap about a shawl. I have seen these all already, he says. He said, I have known them all already, known them all. I've known the eyes, the hands, the bare hands. But with brown hair, the lamplight, he wants to say, hey, perhaps he wants to say that I've already made up my mind. I have known them all already. I know what kind of people I'm going to deal with. The other side of the door, that's why I do not knock. I do not enter. That's why I do not talk. Because I know how it's going to end. This is the problem of modern man. Just because we have had one bad experience, we try not to go to the other one, experience the new one, just because we are afraid. We are afraid. So he says, I have seen these arms, I have seen these eyes before. Perhaps he has made up his mind, and that's why he's so dubious. Arms that lie along a table, or wrap about a shawl. And should I then presume? May I? And how should I begin? He has no idea. He has no idea. Modern man has no idea. Perhaps he knows what he's going to do, but he has no idea how he's going to begin, how he's going to presume. Shall I say, is it a good idea? Should I say that, hey, I have done this and that, so he's going to, have some strategies in his mind. Shall I say, I have gone at dusk through narrow streets? Shall I say, I'm an ordinary man, going through all the streets. I have experienced it all. Shall I say it like that? And watch the smoke that rises from the pipes of lonely men in shirt sleeves, leaning out of windows. Please look at this image. This is life. Do you remember this person here? The cat, hi. Now, look at these people. Who are they? They're smoking their pipes. Perhaps this could be London. The yellow smoke. But these people are not active. These people do not walk in the street. They do not flow. Actually, they don't go with the flow. They do not flow with life. Instead, they prefer to stay home, lean on the windows, and take a look and observe life. They do not live life. We do not do that. We prefer to stay at home just to see the life passing by and smoke. And all these gather to make the yellow fog that rubs its back upon the window panes. Now he's still here. He's not going anywhere. I guarantee that. I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling around the floors of silence. Now, Eliot Prufrock freaks out here. He starts hating himself. He says, hey, I'm just like this. But is that what really Eliot is talking about? I don't think so. For those of us who have read Macbeth, we know that when Lady Macbeth starts talking, somewhere at the, toward the end of the play, when Lady Macbeth starts talking to Macbeth, he says, full of scorpion is in my mind, dear wife. See, his head, Macbeth says, my head is full of scorpions. Just, eating me inside, killing me from within. Now, perhaps he tries to talk about it like that. He tries to, he says that, hey, I'm acting in a clumsy way, but on the other hand, I'm nothing better than this. I'm indecisive. I cannot go from A to B. I should have been a crab. And the afternoon, the evening sleeps so peacefully. Now, take a moment here. That was like crab. You remember like going through the. And the afternoon, the evening sleeps so peacefully. Time is passing by. See, Prufrock is slowly realizing that time is passing by. And life is not October anymore, it's getting towards December. And the afternoon, the evening sleeps so peacefully, smoothed by long fingers. Asleep, tired, or it malingers. Stretched on the floor, the evening, the night. Stretched on the floor, here beside you and me. Silence. Nothing happens. Had we but whirled enough on time, this coyness lady were no crime. Had we but whirled enough on time, this is time. Here you go, modern man. All the time in the world. Afternoon, evening, but nothing. It just passes by. If I had all the time in the world, man wouldn't do anything. Should I, after tea and cakes and ice cream? This is a British, typical British party, afternoon, like party thing. Have the strength to force the moment to his crisis. But though I have wept and prayed, wept and fasted, wept and prayed, though I have seen my head grown slightly bald, brought in upon a platter. Now look at that. Here is the story of John Baptist. I don't know if we should talk about it or not here. But anyway, John the Baptist was a person who baptized Jesus. And to many different religions, he was a prophet, actually. Anyway, so he died this way. I don't want to talk any more about it. This shows that Eliot was a very religious man here. So it says, though I have seen my head brought in upon a platter. And again he says, he's talking about being bald. See how self-conscious he is. See, even when his hair is off, he says, there's a bald spot in the middle of my hair. So again, But though I have wept and fasted, wept and prayed, though I have seen my head grown slightly bald, upon a platter, brought in upon a platter, I am no prophet. I am not John the Baptist. I am no prophet. And here's no great matter. This is no great thing. He admits that. Look at her. Wait, somebody over there, I just saw something. I have seen the moment of my greatness flicker. Time slipping through our window, our fingers. Just like that. And I have seen the moment of my greatness flicker. That's it. And I have seen the eternal footman, the eternal footman. This is life. The eternal footman, sir. The eternal footman. Hold my coat and snicker. And in short, I was afraid. He's getting old, huh? He's afraid. Why can't I say a word? Why can't I move? Why can't I do anything? I know what I'm supposed to do, but why can't I do it? And would it have been worth it after all? After the cups, the marmalade, the tea, among some talk of you and me? Would it have been among the porcelain? Among some talk of you and me? Would it have been worthwhile to have bitten off the matter with a smile? Now, he starts asking himself. He starts acting in a very dubious way. He's like, hey, would it be worth it? Does it? I'm like, should I even do that? Should I even start talking about it? Now, because he couldn't. This man could not move. Now he starts asking the whole thing, questioning the whole thing. Is it worth it? Would it have been worthwhile to have squeezed the universe into a ball? This is another allusion of Marvel's, the same poem, to his coy mistress. In the last stanza, Marvel invites the lady to gather all the energy that they have, all the love they have, and actually squeeze it in a ball and unites. You know, metaphorically speaking. He said, hey, let's unite. To have squeezed the universe into a ball, to roll it towards some overwhelming question, to say, I am Lazarus, coming from the dead. Now Lazarus, you know, this is another biblical reference here. Lazarus, as you know, was a person who was brought back to life by Jesus Christ. And after he died again, Lazarus, by a rich man, Lazarus was asked to be brought back to life again, but this time he couldn't do that. He said, hey, I am Lazarus, come from the dead, come back to tell you all, I shall tell you all. Look at them. And look at them. Modern man is not serious, is taken for granted all the time. Even when I decide to do so, even when I decide to do something big, I'm gonna get mocked at. This is the truth. You can deny this. We have been there before. He says, would it be worthwhile to squeeze the world into the universe to come to an overwhelming question to say, I am Lazarus. Come out from the dead, I shall tell you all, I shall tell you all. It's like, come on. This is it. Now look at that part. The story continues, unfortunately. If one selling a pillow by her head should say, that is not what I meant. This is not what I meant. Okay, go and do whatever you want to do, but this is not what I meant. This starts from that part that Prufrock says, shall I say I have gone through the streets? He said, okay, if I say all those things, you put a pillow over it, it's like, that is not what I meant at all. That is not it at all. And would it have been worth it after all? Would it have been worthwhile after the sun sets and the dooryards and the sprinkled street, after novels, after the teacups, after the skirts that trail along the floor, and this, and so much more. It is impossible to say just what I mean. Making our peace. You see, he's starting to make his peace with himself. He's starting to give up modern man. He's starting to say that even I don't know what I want to say. I know I want to say something, but even it's impossible to say just what I mean. It is very difficult to say what I mean. Would it have been worthwhile if one selling a pillow or throwing off a shawl and turning toward the window should say, even that is not what I meant at all. That is not it at all. That is not what I meant at all. She's disappointed. We've been there. She's disappointed. And I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about our business, our life, relationship, business, outside. This and so much more. I'm no Prince Hamlet. But this is something that we've been thinking about. It's like, to be or not to be? This is the question. We are indecisive. But Prufrock says, hey, I am no Prince Hamlet. I don't have I'm not as majestic as Prince Hamlet. I'm not like him. I don't have that charisma, even to be Hamlet. No, I'm not Prince Hamlet, nor was meant to be. I'm an attended Lord. Who knows who this person is? This is Polonius, right here. Hamlet. He's the person who actually, talked to Hamlet and tell him what to do, what not to do. This is a supporting role, actually. Let's say. No, I'm no Prince Hamlet, nor was meant to be. I'm an attendant Lord. One that will do to swell a progress, start a scene or two, not a main role. Advise the prince. No doubt an easy tool, differential, glad to be of use. I'm glad to be of use. I'm an unimportant person. Politic, cautious, meticulous, full of high sentence, but a bit obtuse, almost at time the fool. Full of high sentences, but a bit obtuse, at times indeed almost ridiculous, almost at time the fool. Now we know how Polonius died. You see, the thing is this, there is no living fool in Hamlet. There was this play in Hamlet. Now, Polonius actually was hiding behind the curtain. Now, by chance, by mistake, when they stabbed the curtain, Polonius died over there. Meaningless. The life is meaningless. Their death is meaningless. So I'm no Prince Hamlet. I'm a person who dies like this, almost at time the fool. Now he starts, that's it, over, end of the story. Prufrock could not do that. And he said, I grow old. I grow old. I shall wear the bottom of my trousers rolled. Shall I part my hair behind? Do I dare to eat a peach? I shall wear the white flannel trousers and walk upon the beach. Now, he goes like that. So he goes like this. I grow old. I grow old. I shall wear the bottom of my trousers rolled. You see, he says, I shall... Now, there are so many different talks about this. He says, I shall wear the bottom of trousers rolled to look like the youth, or perhaps not to get it wet when I'm when I'm walking on the beach. Shall I part my hair behind? Do I dare to eat a peach? Next week we will talk about this, the significance and the importance of Ezra Pound on the writing of T.S. Eliot. There is a story, a very fun story about this part. Ezra Pound believed that poetry should not be kind of engineered. of course engineered, but you could not, but you know, he believed that you are not allowed to use different elements so that it rhymes better. And he said that, I remember the day that you were writing this, you were looking at apple. So why did you say peach here? So I grow old, I shall wear the bottom of my trousers rolled. Shall I part my hair behind? Do I dare to eat a peach? I shall wear white flannel trousers and walk upon the beach. I have heard the mermaids singing each to each. I do not think that they will sing to me. There is much debate on these last lines. Even the great universities, websites, and publications actually believe that they have nothing to say about these last lines of Prufrock poem. But perhaps it's very obvious. When we're talking about peach, look at him. He's in a state that even having peach representing like earthly desire is still a question. It's still a question. You see, he's still debating with himself whether or not to have a peach. And here he says, I have heard the mermaids singing each to each. There's a funny thing. In the documentary, Arena, something like that, it was made by BBC. When it came to this part, it actually showed those ladies dancing in Hawaii. But it seriously doesn't work like that. This is Eliot we're talking about. This is not some weekend show. The thing is, this part reminds me and reminds many different people of the journey that Odysseus actually started. The reason that he started this journey was because he heard sirens. Now, I wonder if you know who sirens were. Sirens were they looked like mermaids by many sailors. They had beautiful voices, so they kind of kept singing to sailors. And when they went there with their sound, they kind of got them. Yeah, exactly. So the thing is this. He says, I have heard the mermaids singing each to each. I really should start this journey. But I don't think they're singing to me. You see, he has let go of life. This is the man. He knows that he's going to do something, but still he doesn't. I do not think that they will sing to me. He says, hey, forget about this. I have seen them riding seawards on the waves. I continue talking about them. Combing the white hair of the waves blown back when the wind blows the water white and black. We have lingered in the chambers of the sea, by seagulls wreathed with seaweed red and brown. Knock, 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 till human voices wake us, and we drown. I believe that when we kind of generalize, we visualize, when we visualize a poem like this, we have a feeling like we kind of understand it better. We have a feeling like we understand it better. But as you all know, there are different layers to poems of this sort. There's what we see, and there's what he wants to say. Okay, there's one that we see, okay, we like it. I read it once somewhere, and it was very beautiful, that we cannot get into depth of a poem unless we have read it and we have liked it. To many of us, poems like this are still difficult, boring, things like that. But you see, every day we have become like those people hanging from their windows, looking and watching the flow of life passing by and not doing anything, just smoking our pipes and adding yellow smoke to this huge amount that walks upon the window panes of our homes. And instead of going through an inward journey, at the end of that, he said, we are imprisoned in the chambers of the sea. We are imprisoned. That's it. This is it. You either make up your mind, you either make a decision, you either knock on that door, or you are doomed to be imprisoned in the chambers of the sea for good. Now that was the journey that Eliot invited us to go to. As I told you, the reason that we have these nights in English is that we try to experience what they did 100 years ago. And we try to see if still, I remember telling you that we are going to discuss whether or not we want to see if this works, if this still works, and it can help us to be better people. Can we be better people by literature, by reading the books, by looking at different sides of this elephant, if you know what I mean, to kind of define it, to have a clearer vision of the truth.